Okay, we are at the site of an historical site with a marker here placed on the end of this bridge here. We are, well, let's see, we are at the end of the Bunker Hill Community College parking lot, which is over there. You got Bunker Hill right over there, the USS Constitution. Also over there, there is your Converse headquarters, the suspension bridge, and behind it, the Boston Gardens, the TD Garden now. And I found this little monument a few weeks ago as I was canvassing the town of Boston, and it's kind of it looks like an old kind of a neglected kind of monument they put up here at one time, and it's long been lost to the Converse All-Star headquarters. Cool looking suspension bridge and TD Gardens. Anyways, the monument's titled Potatoes, and in this area between the mid 1800s and the 1930s, potatoes were offloaded here from railroads and stored in sheds, and it was a sort of warehouse district that the people in the neighborhoods around here would come to and buy from the sheds potatoes, primarily. And it was sort of a warehouse district. And kind of reminds me of a lot of Pittsburgh in a way, because they have a warehouse district there. And things are offloaded from boats and barges from the rivers, put into warehouses and stuff. And if you want to, you could go down there and buy wholesale fruits and vegetables at a great rate. I had an uncle who was a huckster, as my mom put it. And he would go to the warehouse district with a truck and fill up his huckster truck with fruits and vegetables and take it to the neighborhoods in Pittsburgh to sell the fruits and vegetables. A slight markup for himself, I might say. And had quite a thriving business, my mom said. In any case, this potato area, this warehouse district, here at one time, burnt down in the 1930s and was not replaced. So it's kind of you kind of got the mix between the old and the new here on this bridge ramp, this bridge walkway here, with a cool suspension bridge above, and then this bridge here below, which feeds into the park. Very nice, beautiful park across from TD Gardens. Okay. We're nearing the end of the year here, 2017, and again, I look forward to the future, and I keep hoping that 18 will be better than 17. And this has gone on a bit, I know, but every year about this time, after a terrible year, hope springs eternal. So such is the case again this year. I didn't know how to end 17 going into 18, except to say how I started out in this journey, and where after how many years, and through how many underpasses, overpasses, arches, roads, highways, bridges, walkways, lampposts, that I have been through and around and over and under. In what, 4, 5, 6, 7 years it's been. Anyways, I was thinking to myself the other day, what was the one moment that my life changed? From a very enjoyable, loving neighbor and neighborhood in downtown Phoenix to downtown Boston, before a sack of potatoes with under the black and gold a lamppost that Dan Rooney and the Steelers would love. What has brought me here after all these years? What was the moment? What was the pivotal moment? Was it the drugs? Was it the gambling? Was it the whoring? Was it the endless parties? No. If there was a moment that I could pick where the whole world pivoted for me and things never were the same, it was early in 12, and I was out. It had to be January or February, and every beginning of the year I would go out, as I was living in an apartment, and I had been there now for 5 or 6 years, and like every beginning of the year, first of the year, I would go out and take pictures of the city. Things I had missed, things I wanted to take maybe a different angle on, a different perspective from, and such like that. So I was out in the downtown Phoenix area, and there is a statue of a naked man on the corner of Washington and I believe Central. But don't quote me on this. There's a naked man at the corner of Washington and Central in Phoenix, in downtown Phoenix, and he's standing there with his hands, one hand raised upward, and in all his glory, as if pointing up, looking up, and I was taking a picture of him, and all of a sudden this girl behind me said, "Excuse me," and I turned around, and it was this beautiful young lady in this brilliant yellow sundress, and she said, "Can you take a picture of me?" I'm there, "Yeah, sure." So she went and stood over by the naked man, and I took a picture of her. And we got to talking, and talking to her, it seemed to me like, I don't know, like she was a little off, a little sideways maybe, a little, I don't know. But she didn't seem, quite all there. Okay. But she insisted on me taking a picture of her with this naked man, this statue, at Washington and Central. Now, when I asked her, well, why don't you take a picture of me? And she wouldn't. She said, no. I don't want to. I don't want to. And I said, okay. And then she parted. But she parted with like a wry smile. And that smile is always kind of hung in the air with me. even that day, as she walked away, it's one of those things like, what just happened? You know, the moment with her just hung in the air because she wasn't quite there, but she had this wry kind of smile that said, you know, if you only knew, you know, or I got a secret. So it wasn't long after that things started going awry in my life, and strange occurrences started happening, and you know, one thing led me on to another, and down the path I went in search of salvation as month after month, you know, and eventually year after year, I lost everything I had. And there was nothing by the time I left Phoenix but a bag on my back, you know, as I headed out into the world that has led me here at the end of all these travails under this black and gold light post and all of these potato sacks from a long forgotten warehouse district in downtown Boston. Along the road that I've been on.